everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. Today, I wanted to speak about why the twin flame journey takes such a long time. And I know that this can be so frustrating for a lot of us because we keep undergoing so many challenges that the journey throws at us. For instance, right after the bubble phase, where the interaction is perfect and you both realize that you've met somebody incredibly special, your twin flame ghosts you, and then for no apparent reason starts to date other people, and you start going into this whole state of shock as to how this could be when they had probably committed to you, or clearly the potential of the connection was so strong, right? So you go through so much of a heartbreak, and the moment you start to heal yourself, you start seeing that your twin flame does not immediately return just because you're healing yourself. It does not happen that they immediately just come back into your life. They can slide in and out of your life, and that can continue on and on and on for such a long time, right? So why is this taking such a long time? Understand that the conditioning that we are carrying as souls is extremely strong. Since we took birth, we started to behave in the ways of our culture, we started to behave in the ways of society, like right from how we interacted with our parents, to how when we went to school, how the rules were in the school, how different children were bringing different kinds of their own conditioning to the school, how it was all just happening in the collective started to influence us. Our value system started to align with the expected value system of the society. We started to think this is what we need to do, right? We started to believe in that we have to prove ourselves all the time. So maybe in school some of you were overachievers, or you wanted to maybe always prove to everyone that you know better, or you're smarter, or you're prettier. Maybe some of you were very focused on your looks, on coloring your hair differently, on looking like a different person altogether. And this is what the society started to reward. This is what the society normalized. So these days, I live in India, and I see that nobody has, very few people have even natural black colored hair that we are born with. And most people, for the last 10-15 years almost, it's become a trend to just color them golden or brown. And it's perfectly fine and normal, and it's beautiful, if it suits you and everything, there's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, if this comes from a space of rejecting yourself the way you are, then of course it is something which can be avoided. And this is one example, but there are so many other examples that you can go into, where we are trying to be who we are not. All right, we are trying to work in jobs because everybody is working in those jobs. So many of us have, back in my country here, so many people just study certain subjects because those subjects are considered to be superior to other subjects, such as sciences are considered superior to arts, or extremely focused on, a certain kind of a standard of living that you want to maintain all the time. And all of that comes from a space of comparing yourself to the next person. So today, if for instance, you're given $100, and it should make your day, that just out of nowhere you got $100. But let us say your friend receives $200, then suddenly your day is not made with the $100 you received, because you're now thinking, oh, this person here, my friend, received $200. You're actually more sad about receiving $100, because you're seeing life in constant comparison to the next person around you. All right, and this is a very, very, very deep conditioning, and couple this with the wounds that you are carrying with regards to imperfect parenting, with regards to sometimes a lot of wounds are intergenerational trauma that come to surface in this life for us. The trauma that we did not experience but our ancestors experienced, and it got passed on in the DNA, will also have an impact on us, right? So this is why when you get activated on this journey and you have a soul recognition and you undergo intense spiritual awakening, and it may not happen right away. It may be you met your twin and 2 years later you have an awakening, or 1 year later. Like for me, when I met my twin, almost I would say 13-14 months after meeting my twin, I had the soul recognition. wherein, I could see this is my soul in another body. And that was, the time, the exact time of a spiritual awakening when it really, really got triggered for me, and nothing could sustain after that for me. All right. So this is that kind of a journey, wherein it takes its own time. Now, the moment the soul recognition has happened, then you start to completely undergo so many changes, everything around you starts to fade completely. Spiritual awakening, it's not easy because you're not making sense to the world around you, and the world around you is not making sense to you. Just to come into that acceptance that now your relationship with your father, your mother, your siblings, your friends, your work, what you want to do in life, it's all completely changing, and nobody wants to completely accept it right away. It's just imagine your ego is now bit by bit being thrashed into pieces, and how strong your ego has been is also going to play out, into the complications you have, into the time you take to accept. So, because a lot of the times there is this push and pull energy, this back and forth between the ego and the soul. So your ego, for instance, tells you that, okay, now I'm not going to be bothered, your soul tells you that, you just are okay to live in the present moment. Just focus on how you're feeling. Exactly, just be in the present moment. Center yourself in your body right now and just see everything around you as what it is. What is mindfulness is what your soul will pull you towards, all right? Your soul will pull you towards certain, things which make you very happy. For instance, it will say, why don't you just step out and look at the sky for some time, all right? You will feel this urge, and your soul will, be very happy when you look at the sun, you look at the moon in a different way, you feel a connection, you feel a certain love. This is, the idea of the soul. But let us say your ego says, no, you know what, I have to call up this person first before stepping out, and watching the sun. Okay, no, I have to prove myself, again, to a certain somebody. And a lot of it is just internal dialogue only. Your ego will still try to keep you, maybe let us say, fixated on social media. Let's say, no, let me scroll Facebook for some time more, or let me just finish this particular episode on Netflix, all right? Or your soul is telling you that I don't think I want to work on this particular kind of a job role that I have right now, because I now maybe have enough to just take a break and figure out what I want to do next. Maybe just spend some time on my healing. I can afford to do it. I have the savings, I don't have the responsibility. Your soul can be very practical. Sometimes the situations around you will be such that they will enable you, like you will not be in a lack of money situation or something, or you will not have a lot of responsibilities. It can be that all of those things turn out to be in your favor through whatever way, so that you are able to take time off. But your soul supports it completely. This is the higher divine intervention. Like it happened to me that my financial situation, my responsibility situation with regards to other people, everything just switched into a place which was favorable to me, from where I knew I could take a break and relax and just go into a deeper healing and understanding of myself, shift into the soul self. But your ego can resist it and say, what is the opportunity cost of this? Why don't you work your job for 2, 3, 6 more months and complete this much of a tenure? You will have this much more money in your bank account, right? So this is the way the ego will tell you, but your soul will say, what is it? What will you do with that extra money right now? Your needs have become limited, as it is. You're not going out and you're not drinking anymore. You're not into shopping unnecessarily. You're just in a mode of living a very simple life, So this is the inner dialectical process between the ego and the soul, all right, wherein the ego always takes in this role of trying to stop you and keeping you in the matrix, and the soul is trying to push you into just your original nature. And your original nature is not influenced by culture, by society, by what anybody else around you is doing. Even your immediate family could be walking a completely different path to you. The people that you live with, or you live alone, your friends, anybody, your partner, your colleagues, whoever, they could be walking a completely different path from you, and you will know that you are not walking the same path. Your soul is now trying to make you walk the path that you were always meant to walk upon, the path of simplicity, the path of truth, the path of who you really are, alright? And that path has a lot of simplicity. It is just built into, the path of the soul. Because the soul has been an ancient traveler. It has been traveling, in this life for such a long time, right? Not just this life, it has been traveling through various lives. You don't even know how many lives it has seen. It probably lived in the ancient times, which are now maybe even mythological. Like maybe it lived in the ancient times of, Atlantis. Maybe it lived in the very old civilizations, which aren't even proven to have existed. Your soul has traversed through all of that. So your soul is very simple. The soul has nothing to do with, this owning this car or owning this house or something like that. There is nothing wrong with having these desires. In fact, it's important, that you balance it out. But just saying that your soul can sometimes move you into a simplicity of life. Alright? So this is, this tussle between the ego and the soul. This is exactly, why the divine journey of twin flames takes time. And you will see this especially with your divine masculine as well. That why is he taking such a long time to realize, okay, he saw this connection, but then he wants to test it out. He wants to date 100 other people to figure it out if, anybody can beat this connection, because I can't be so vulnerable with my divine feminine, right? It hurts the ego to do that, to lose itself. It threatens the ego so much. All the fears come up, right? So you see this tussle in the divine masculine as well, wherein he has to understand, okay, he has to align with his soul and come to terms with the power of this connection, the natural rhythm of this connection, the fact that this is a connection which has to just be, in a particular way, and he doesn't have any control or power over it, etc., right? So he has to come into that realization, but above all, you have to come into that realization first. Before his realization journey even begins, your realization journey has to reach a significant point, right? You have to understand how the ego has been controlling you all your life, alright? The ego could be controlling you in the sense of, all of this conditioning, all of this proving myself to other people, all of this, I have to be the smartest, I have to be the prettiest, I have to be the worthiest, I have to win everybody's approval, I have to ensure that everybody, understands what I'm trying to say, I have to hold on to my friends, whom I have outgrown for the longest time, even the ones who do not have the best interests for me. So you go through this nullification of everything, step by step. You will see every relationship where you may have wronged somebody or somebody may have been wronged with you. Even the neutral relationships are brought up to your mind to be healed. You may have to do some cord cutting, or you may have to, write letters and burn those letters to people who hurt you. You will see every hurt that an ex-boyfriend or a girlfriend has given to you will be brought up to the surface for you to examine. It will be brought up, alright? And you will see you'd have to neutralize it. Even if you felt that I have neutralized it and I'm long past it. But no, if any hidden aspect of it still remains inside of you, it will be brought up. So this is why the journey takes time. And this is why it's not a journey for the faint-hearted, alright? Just appreciate this journey, because why it's being brought up is so that you purge this out of your system. Maybe consciously, you let go of that ex-boyfriend from 10 years ago. You've not thought about that ex in such a long time. And you're like, I don't want to know anything about this person. But unconsciously, if there were some incidents which created a deep karmic imprint with this person, then those imprints will be brought up, so that you can purge them out. How beautiful it is that anything that unconsciously you have still been holding on to is also now being released. Because remember the power of the unconscious. You think that you don't want to go there, you don't want to go and rediscover what happened 10 years ago. Alright, but it is important that it gets out of your system. It still will hold a power over you. And this power and this kind of a dynamic will play out into the dynamic with your twin flame. If there was betrayal or cheating 10 years ago in your system, in your experience with an ex-boyfriend, you got over it, you forgot about it, you distracted yourself, you moved on, you told yourself, don't trust men like that, etc., etc. But the karmic imprint of that incident which remains inside of you will be reflected back to you by your twin flame. So very likely your twin flame will then, show up these patterns of cheating, betrayal, etc. So you'll have to go back to those moments and heal yourself and heal your subconscious mind, heal your inner child, all right, and release all of this pain and everything that you felt at that time but did not allow yourself to experience fully, right? That often happens, that we sometimes suppress our emotions. So this is why the journey is taking time. It's taking you back in time. It's taking you to a space of complete healing, such a powerful healing that nothing within you which is not of a purer, of a higher nature remains. And when you go through this purging process, you go through the awakening of all of your chakras, the wounds which are stored in all of your chakras, right from the root to the sacral to the solar plexus. Especially, for divine feminines, if I have to point out, the lower three chakras are where, most of our wounds are. A lot of us can have financial insecurity built into us, right, because of any n number of experiences or constant comparison with other people. A lot of us can have sacral chakra wounds. A lot of the divine feminines are sexually repressed or have had, some form of a connection or some form of an experience which, repressed their, not just their sexuality, but also, made them feel less about themselves, right? A lot of the times, just when you were a little girl transitioning into becoming, a woman, when you first had your periods, how you felt around that time. Did you have any rejection for your body? A lot of the women tend to, reject, for instance, how they're growing up so fast. They just still want to be children, but the bodily changes are so extreme and so overpowering. So just, going back and giving yourself love in those places if you did not feel that love. It may not resonate with all of you, but may resonate with some people, even if just one or two people. So this is very significant and important, to understand that all of these aspects have to come up to be healed. All of these aspects have to be released from our system. We have to come into complete harmony and balance, of who we truly are. And this is the journey of the soul. So this is why there is great importance and, a great promise, in staying in the present moment and disconnecting from the mind. So coming back to the chakras, a lot of the times your solar plexus could be blocked, wherein, maybe you felt that your sense of self, your sense of, self-respect, you stay in the energies of self-doubt, not trusting your potential. All of these, imposter syndrome like phenomenon, it can happen to divine feminines and they have to overcome this. So the lower three chakras are the three chakras that take the longest time for the divine feminine to purge, to release, to come into her own power. She can do this energetically when she's working on chakra meditations, as well as consciously she can start to look at the subconscious wounds, that she has carried in these chakras, alright? So inner child healing really plays an important role here. Then the heart chakra of the divine feminine, as I've also, spoken of before, that what is your ability to receive love? Coming into your true feminine energy, if you really are in a dominant feminine energy, if you really think your energy dominant, the dominant energy in you is the feminine energy, then you have to heal it. And a lot of that healing has also to do with your heart chakra. How much do you think you deserve to receive love? What is your connection with love, right? Have you built walls around your heart because of past hurts and pains and all of that? All of those have to be purged out. You will come to this beautiful space one day where you will know that you are carrying the spring well of love within you. You don't even have to go and seek love from your divine masculine or any human being, anything, on this planet, because you yourself have the love. You are the love that you're walking, right? This is divine feminine healing also. So to come into all of this takes time. To come into this realization is not an overnight process. It is like the layers of the onion. This is why you have to be consistent. Just keep healing, whatever comes up. Know that your healing is also divinely guided. The divine is telling you, okay, you know what, right now you're ready to heal this. This week, I know you can heal this. The next week, I know you can heal that. You start working, maybe you have a complete shift of your career. You start doing something completely different and it does not immediately work out. But then the divine tells you, keep at it. you're going to learn so many skills as you keep struggling, you keep working on this, right? You will keep releasing more and more as you keep working here. The self-doubt that you see are just wounds of your solar plexus. Work on them and release them. See where they're coming from. So this is why the journey takes time. This is a journey of your spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakenings do not happen overnight. It's not that you get enlightened and that's it, It is a journey where you're moving towards who you are. So right now you're moving towards that process of, discovering your true self, right? And that lays buried inside. And it depends on the karma, the karmic imprints you carry. It depends on, your willingness to be more in the present moment. How quickly you are able to shift your awareness from that of the mind to the awareness of the soul. How quickly you are able to recognize that this is the twin flame journey I'm on. It's a journey of spiritual awakening. And how much do you want to claim your union? Because a lot of the times, many people claim that, they want their union, but then they change their minds a lot. Or they want to date other people and then they go on, with a soulmate or something like that, because this is very frustrating. And how many times do you want to keep repeating that? See, once or twice you can go into soulmate relationships, but then you realize that they don't work, nobody else matches your divine masculine. So you shift back into, the consciousness and the awareness of being with your twin flame. So the quicker you realize that you want to claim your union in this lifetime, the faster the process becomes for you. And the more you stick with that, feeling and with that desire that yes, I want union in this lifetime, the easier it is for the universe to bring it to you. Don't keep changing your mind, every day or every week or something like that. Okay, know that your union is within reach for you. This is why you met your divine masculine in this lifetime. Why else will you even cross paths? Right? So commit to the spiritual journey, commit to staying in the present moment, commit to healing, whatever the divine shows to you at whatever point in time, and commit to the divine timing of this journey, okay? Commit to doing that. You can shorten the journey by claiming your union. You can shorten the journey by healing immediately what comes, to your awareness, making a note of it, understanding your blocks. If you already know of the major blocks you have, you can start working on them. But of course, fully the blocks will be healed as and when the divine things are ready. All right. You can commit to the journey by completely surrendering. You can quicken the journey by just trusting that okay, it will happen. I know it will happen. Let me just trust it and let it go. You can quicken the journey by being more in the soul, which is by being more in the present moment, because the soul does not exist in the past. It does not exist in the mind. It does not exist in the future. All right. So these are some of the ways in which you're going to quicken the journey. You can definitely quicken the journey by doing energy clearings. There are lots of guided meditations you can look at, which energetically cleanse you. You can definitely do a daily meditation practice. You can commit to something very spiritual. You can go in nature. So all of these things are various aspects which basically heal your soul. They align with your soul. They align with your higher self, right? You can quicken the journey by doing chakra meditations as well. That is very, very powerful. All right. You must have a connection with the divine on this journey, because the divine is your biggest support system on this journey. It's the foremost relationship that you have in this life, in all lives. If you are imprinted by the divine on this journey, then this journey really, really takes off for you. All right. So guys, have a beautiful, wonderful day. This is all I wanted to share with you. I hope this was helpful. I think to understand why this journey takes time, I hope you have respect for this journey. It's such a beautiful, incredible experience of awakening, of not pandering anymore to untruths which are being peddled around all the time. It's a beautiful journey of coming into realization of who you are, of moving from a place of lack to a place of abundance. Because the 3D matrix is always a place of lack. You're always dissatisfied and you're always trying to get more and win more and compare yourself. It's a journey of absolute freedom, right? So take care. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. If you think I can be of any assistance to you on this journey, you can book a one-on-one session with me to discuss more about your journey, to discuss more about the inner work that you need to undertake. I'll be very happy to assist you. I'll see you in the next podcast video. Bye-bye.